think one of the interesting things that I've been exploring, and it seems like there's just this maybe it's you look at a VP of marketing or you look at a CMO today, and they've had the mentality from day one, like, I want to be marketing leader, and their whole path has been created around like putting things on hold, like prioritizing work and just getting to that level. And then they're at that level, and then they're building out this team. And then the younger generation is coming up, and the younger generation might have these interesting new ideas, but those aren't the interesting and new ideas that got the CMO in the spot that they're in today. So I have been hearing about this disconnect between like new, young individual contributor and marketing leader, where the individual would be like, this like playbook or what I'm being asked to do doesn't make any sense to me because I'm not on this channel, or this isn't how I would approach this. I do things the other way. So I've just been hearing more and more about like this disconnect within marketing orgs. I'd love for you to maybe like, is this something that you hear a lot about? I'd love for any feedback that you get from people that you're working with when it comes to that.
So I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that was like the cue for me to tell you that I wrote this book.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Okay, Boomer, Revelations of a Baby Boomer Working with Millennials, because that's exactly what I've been seeing in marketing.
This is completely organic. That was an
organic
segue.
I think right people there. Are not going to believe that that you just cued me into that. So yeah, a lot of what I've been doing for the past 10 years is looking at my peers who are all and grew up in a time when they recognized certain marketing channels, tactics, etc. And marketing changes every 2 seconds. So what they thought was the go-to maybe is like dead and already buried. And so what's happening is there's 2 things going on. There's marketing and martech changing every minute, and new channels happening all the time. And today's tweens are like on Twitch and channels that a lot of people have never even heard of, who are my age. There's Discord, there's Be Real, and I'm watching Be Real very carefully because I think that's something. But anyway, I call this sort of a digital divide, because I think a lot of the age difference is the digital difference, and it's a sophistication level difference, it's a comfort level difference, but there's also an age difference. And the reason that's important is people my age got to be where they are, as you said, by like, I put my head down and I worked, and you hear stories in some industries like, well, if you're not going to come in on Saturday, don't bother coming in on Sunday. And, just nightmare scenarios that unfortunately, like our generation had to deal with. I mean, how bad was that? Like, this is like the stuff you heard. I remember hearing about investment bankers who slept under their desks. Like, did I want to go in investment banking? No friggin' way. I wasn't sleeping under my desk. But you have this disconnect of these older people thinking, oh, you have to do, put in the time, you got to do FaceTime, all this. And then the younger generations who are often the marketers doing the marketing just in a totally different space. And what happens is, or at least what I've been running into, is these younger teams know what they want to do, how they want to do it, how to be successful, but they're not getting any support or funding from the older generations that are higher up in the organization, and they determine budget, right? The problem is the people who are higher up are not sharing their strategic goals with these younger teams, right? So a great example is I was working a few years ago with an international nonprofit, okay? And the team there was doing all the things. They were very, very active, and what they were doing made a lot of sense if you think of it from a marketing perspective. But then when you sat with senior leadership and I said, well, what are your priorities? And they're like, oh, we need more members and we need them to be males age 16 to 25. Well, that's a very different vision and strategy than what the marketing team was working on. So once I put them together and had senior leadership talking to, the head of marketing, so they understand, like, these are our organization goals, so this needs to be marketing's goals. oh, marketing has to do that. Well, then all the tactics have to roll up into, that's called strategy. Strategy never changes. What changes are the tactics and the ways and the channels to get there. So, this disconnect has basically in marketing made marketing so broken because it's not connected to the rest of the organization's missions and goals. So, if you don't have a strategic leader there as the head of marketing, there is such an opportunity for there to be a missed strategic direction, and then the marketing team just sort of circles the drain because they're not doing anything that anyone cares about.